In this video, I'm going to share 30 secrets about Disneyland Paris' Fantasyland that you may not have known before. Fantasyland, arguably the most beautiful land here in Disneyland Paris, and there are so many cute hidden details and secrets about the land which I'm so excited to share with you. And the first secret is actually about Sleeping Beauty's castle, which of course is attached to Fantasyland. You have to kind of walk through the castle to even get to this land, and it has everything to do with the Sleeping Beauty castle itself and what it represents. So if you look at the castle over here, and if you actually one day decide to count all the towers that the castle has, you will be able to count exactly 16 towers, and I've done it myself. I did it right now as well. There are 16 towers on this castle. Now that's not a coincidence about the 16 towers of Sleeping Beauty's castle. Nothing ever really is at Disneyland Paris. The reason there are 16 towers is of course because it's Sleeping Beauty's castle, and Aurora, how old was she in the movie? 16 years old. How cool is that? The next secret is also located by the castle at the entrance of Fantasyland, and it's about Arthur's sword over there. Now this is Arthur's sword over here, as you can see, and guests can come and try their luck to see if they can pull it out. And one thing you may not know is that the sword is actually attached by a giant magnet at the bottom of it, and from time to time it demagnetizes, so you might be able to lucky and actually be able to pull the sword out. Now obviously I've not been able to do this so far, but try your luck next time you're here. You might be luckier than I am. For this next secret, we are standing in front of Pizzeria Bella Notte, which is a quick service restaurant here in Disneyland Paris' Fantasyland, and this is actually one of my favorite secrets, because if you look at Bella Notte from the front of it, you will notice that the building of Bella Notte, the restaurant, is kind of leaning a little bit to one side, so it's not completely straight, and that of course is a reference to the Leaning Tower of Pisa in Italy. We're still outside Bella Notte for this next secret, but for this one, to be able to notice it, you actually have to look at the ground and kind of the bottom parts of the restaurant. So as you enter the little terrace outdoor dining area of Bella Notte, you'll notice some really cute, lovely, beautiful mosaics on the ground, and you can also notice them here on these little brick walls surrounding the terrace area. Now these beautiful, colourful mosaics that you see at Bella Notte here in Disneyland Paris were actually made in Disneyland Anaheim in California. The original mosaic was created by one of my favourite Disney artists, Mary Blair, in Anaheim, but unfortunately it was destroyed during the construction of Star Tours in 1985, and then Tom Morris recovered some of the pieces to include them in Disneyland Paris, and here we are. It's so hot in Disneyland Paris today. They've actually created a little water spray area here in Fantasyland. And speaking of heat, I want to give a big thank you to Wild Deodorant for sponsoring this video. Now if you haven't heard of Wild Deodorant, it's a natural, sustainable deodorant that can be delivered straight to your door. It's very environmentally friendly. I'm going to show you the case in a second. This is the case that I have. Hopefully you can see it here. They've got a few different colors to choose from, and you can check those out on the website, which I will link down below. You can even see I've got my name engraved on the top, which is something that you can do as well, because the cool thing about Wild is that you get to keep the case forever. You don't have to just throw it away when you're done with the deodorant. Instead, once you're done with a scent, you can just order a new one, and the good thing as well is that every scent lasts for about 3 to 4 months, so quite a while actually, and they've got a variety of different fragrances, some really nice ones. The one I've been using is the Fresh Cotton and Sea Salt one, which you can hopefully see over here, and this is kind of how they come in as well, the packaging. Another good thing of course is that these are completely recyclable, and not only that, they smell phenomenal. So I'm going to show you in a second exactly how to put this into your Wild deodorant case, because it's very simple. When I first started using it, I was a little bit worried as to how difficult it was going to be, but honestly it's very easy. So let me just show you. What you do is they've got some buttons on the side of the case, and you just press them. There you go. And that means that you can get the bottom bit out. So now we've got the case opened more or less, and this is where you need to put the scent. With the actual scent as well, you just easily take it out of its little case, and then you can see how simple it is. It's almost like a little bit of a puzzle piece. You put it through like this, and then you put the other side of the case straight back onto it. There you go. It makes a nice little click as well, and then you just open your deodorant, switch the bottom bit a few times so that the deodorant comes up, and then you just use it, and oh my god, it honestly smells so nice. It smells very fresh. I know this is the name of the fragrance that I've chosen, Fresh Cotton and Sea Salt, but it really does smell fresh, and especially if you're walking in the parks for so long, it's a really nice scent to have on you, because you probably are going to sweat a little bit. And I found Wild deodorant to be not just very useful, but also very cute. I mean, I know it's not all about the look, But look at the case. I mean, how cute is that? It's also very good for sensitive skin, so they cater to all kinds of different skins, and like I said, they've got a variety of different scents as well. And if you want to try different ones, you can always do so once the first one is done. This is genuinely a fantastic brand, and if you go on Trustpilot, you will see that they've got over 11,000 5-star reviews, so it's not just me who enjoys this deodorant. I know even my cousin, who lives all the way in Austria, is a big fan of Wild deodorant. It's got a big fan base, and for good reason too. Now, if any of you want to try Wild deodorant as well, I do have a discount code for you, so if you use my discount code SAMFORGOD, you can get 20% off any Wild products from the link down below. So click on the link down below, have a look at the website, see if you fancy any of them. For me, since I made the switch to Wild, I've not looked back. It's the best deodorant I've used in a long time. If you do end up ordering one, let me know in the comments down below which color case you decide to go for. And yeah, thank you again, Wild, for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to the Disneyland Paris secrets. Anyway, this next Fantasyland secret is about these two turrets that you can see behind me. I think they're called turrets anyway. These towers, and they're a bit randomly placed, right? I've never really understood the point of them, because these towers were never just meant to be towers on their own anyway. Once upon a time, they were attached by an arch on top of them. However, in 1999, with the opening of the Imaginations Parade here at Disneyland Paris, unfortunately they had to remove the arch because the floats were just too big. They couldn't get through it, and this is obviously the parade route here at Disneyland Paris. And I guess ever since, they've just kept them like this, because Disney probably imagined they'd be making even better and bigger floats after 1999. And on that note, the Imaginations Parade at Disneyland Paris from that year is probably one of my favorite parades ever when it comes to Disney parades. For this next secret, we are going to go inside La Confiserie de Tuafe, which is a shop here in Fantasyland that has actually recently reopened. And the cool thing about this little shop is that if you look at the chimney over there, you can actually spot the three fairies. So Flora, Fauna and Merryweather. I never know which one's which, but yeah, they're just chilling there, and they're actually, like, you know, tiny as well, so the size that you would expect them to be. This next secret is one of my personal favorites, and it can be found at the Snow White ride, the attraction here in Fantasyland. And the secret is located at the top of the entrance of this ride, so if you look closely at that window right at the top, from time to time you might be able to see a surprise. There you go, look at her. It's the evil queen herself, just peeking through that window, having a quick look at Fantasyland and then going back. We're in the shop Sir Mickey's now in Fantasyland. One thing I always recommend you doing, no matter where you are in Disneyland Paris, is to look up, especially in the shops. In Sir Mickey's case, if you look up, you'll be able to see the giant beanstalk that has taken Mickey, look at him, poor Mickey, literally inside the shop with its giantness. And speaking of the beanstalk, if you look carefully, the next secret can actually be found through that window over there behind that chair. You should be able to see Willy the Giant himself peeking through. There you go, 2 secrets in 1 at Sir Mickey's in Fantasyland. Also, you can actually see the beanstalk from the outside as well. But this is the fun thing about Disneyland Paris. Things don't just end from the exterior, they're very cute inside as well, as you just saw. But don't worry, we're still not done with Sir Mickey's the shop yet, because there's another cool thing about the shop that I want to show you, and includes this beautiful drawing of Mickey outside of the shop. Because if you look closely at the inscription next to Mickey, it says "Qui ne risque rien n'a rien," which in English means whoever risks nothing has nothing, and that's basically a reference to the cartoon The Brave Little Tailor. There you go, quite a fun one. Now for the next secret, we are by March Hare's refreshment little snack area, and there's a little teacup over there. Well, I say little, it's actually quite a giant one, and from time to time you should be able to see a mouse come out of the top of the teacup and just say hello to all the guests here. There you go, you can see him here. It's a nice little surprise, and it's really fun if you actually get to see the moment when it comes up and then goes back into the teacup. For this next Fantasyland secret, we are in front of Lupe de Faire, which is the storybook ride here in Fantasyland. And did you know that every single boat at this attraction has the name of a female Disney character on it? There you go. This one has Cinderella's name on it, Cendrillon. This next one says Blanche-Neige on it, as you can see, obviously for Snow White. This next one over here has Wendy on it, a reference to Peter Pan, which is cute. And even Bianca from The Rescuers. That's pretty cool. So yeah, next time you're in Disneyland Paris and in Fantasyland and going on this attraction, check out the names of the boats and see which one you end up going on. Now, one of my favorite Fantasyland secrets can be found in front of the Toad Hall restaurant, which is a quick service here in Disneyland Paris. Because as you can see at the entrance of Toad Hall, we've of course got Toad Hall, the name of the restaurant, and then in the middle, Mr. Toad himself looking adorable with the restaurant sign on the top. But if you look closely, under Mr. Toad himself, there's a little inscription that says "No consumos froglagus." I hope I said that right, but basically it means "Do not not consume frog legs. I find that so funny because of course Mr. Toad is a frog and he wouldn't want people to be eating his legs at his own restaurant, and also frog legs is also a reference to French cuisine because they do tend to eat frog legs here. We're now inside Toad Hall, the restaurant, and this restaurant has one of my favorite themings because if you go in the main dining area you'll be able to see basically Mr. Toad himself inspired by quite a few different artists. So we've got Da Vinci at times, and then it changes to Van Gogh and Rembrandt. So basically loads of different artists have all inspired Mr. Toad. It's honestly amazing. So even if we don't eat food here, I would always recommend coming to Toad Hall and just having a look around, maybe get yourself a coffee or a dessert or some water and just have a look at the beautiful artworks that you see here. They're very, very fun. Secret number 15 is all about Alice's Curious Labyrinth in Fantasyland, and this is one of the more unique attractions here at Disneyland Paris. And one thing that is very noticeable about this attraction, of course, is Cheshire Cat's face down there, you know, all made by plants, and his eyes that sometimes wander around as well. But one thing that isn't quite so noticeable is what you would see of the labyrinth if you looked at it from the sky. So if you were to look at Alice's Curious Labyrinth from above, maybe through a drone or something, the part next to the Cheshire Cat's head basically forms its body, and then the part of the spiral maze forms a rose. And here's a photo here, so hopefully you can get an idea of what it looks like from above. Pretty cool, right? Still by Alice's Curious Labyrinth, but for this next secret, to be able to see it, you have to come to the back of the attraction, because if you look closely through that heart-shaped topiary in the middle, you might be able to see a little bit of a blue thing, and it looks like a slide, right? And that's because it is indeed a slide, or was a slide, should I say. Now, unfortunately, the slide as an attraction was only around for maybe a year or two because of safety reasons. Eventually, Disneyland Paris had to close it down. However, you can still see the slide, you just can't go down it, unfortunately. And the way you would descend would be from the top of the Queen of Hearts castle all the way to the ground. I mean, unfortunately, I don't think I ever got to go on it, but if you did, or if you remember going on it back in the 90s, leave a comment down below and let me know. Okay, so for this next secret, we are standing by the Teacups, one of the more popular attractions here at Disneyland Paris. And this one doesn't actually have anything to do with the Teacups as an attraction in itself, but the areas surrounding the teacup, such as those little trees over there, because if you look closely, you can find little carved animals, or in this case, monsters here. This is meant to be the Loch Ness Monster. You can get a better idea of it from this angle over here. It's just really cool. It's all about the little details here in Disneyland Paris. And some swans here as well. These are probably my favorites. They look so cute. Again, all right next to Teacups, the ride. The next secret is about another classic ride in Disneyland Paris, which is of course Dumbo the Elephant. And if you pay close attention, in the middle of Dumbo, you'll be able to notice Timothy, the mouse. And again, if you pay even more attention, you'll realize that he's currently holding a feather in his hands. And that wasn't always the case. Back in the days when the park first opened, he was holding an actual whip, and deemed too violent for Disneyland Paris, they eventually changed it to a feather, which I personally think is better anyway. What do you think? A whip or a feather? The next Fantasyland secret can be found by the Old Mill, which at the moment is a snack place here in Fantasyland. They sell a variety of things like ice creams and little savory snacks as well from time to time. But if you go round the Old Mill corner and you see what's at the back, that little rounded thing, you might be wondering, why would they bother making such an elaborate Old Mill just for a snack cart? And that's because up until 2002, this snack cart used to actually be an attraction. So this used to be almost like a little Ferris wheel in Fantasyland. They had little baskets that would go around. It didn't go too high. It was very much a children's attraction, a family attraction. I'm going to insert a photo here of what the Old Mill used to look like in the 90s, so you can get an idea of what this was as an attraction. Now, I probably would have gone on it, to be fair, because I did come here quite a few times in the 90s and I was a child, but the reason they stopped it as an attraction is because it just wasn't too popular, and the way it was built as well, like queue-wise, it just wasn't really working for the layout of Fantasyland. And so now, for the past like what, 20 years almost, it's just been a cart, a snack cart, but they do have some cute snacks there, to be fair, and it's still very well themed. Secret number 20, and for this one we have come to the courtyard area of Auberge de Cendrillon, which is princess dining basically here in Disneyland Paris Fantasyland, and also one of the more expensive meals that you can get here. Now the first secret is not so much a secret, but not a lot of people know that you can actually find Cinderella's carriage in the courtyard area, and everyone can come and visit it, even if you're not dining at, you know, Auberge de Cendrillon. You can still come here and take your photo with the carriage. But one cool fact that you might not know about the carriage is that this was actually a present from Walt Disney World to Disneyland Paris in 1992 for the opening of the park. And another thing that you may not have noticed in Auberge de Cendrillon's little little courtyard area are these clogs, Cinderella's clogs that actually can be found as well, just chilling on the wall. There's also one more secret that can be found here at Auberge de Cendrillon's little terrace area, and the next one is actually by this little well, because if you actually look down, you might be able to spot some familiar characters here. We've got Lucifer just chilling over there, and Gus Gus and Jack as well. They're all just here. So many details. For this next secret, we are going to be going inside La Chaumière de Sept-Nains, which is the Dwarfs' shop here in Fantasyland. And again, if you look up, which I always recommend in Disneyland Paris, you will notice 7 mugs here for all the different dwarfs. So you've got Sneezy there, Doc, Bashful, Sleepy, Grumpy, Dopey and Happy, and all their mugs are just chilling up there. But sometimes it's not just looking up that's good, but also looking down, because another cute detail in this shop is that you can actually find the dwarves' beds. So there's 7 beds here for the different dwarves, and on this one they have the names in French, so Simple for Dopey, Atum for Sneezy, Joyeux for Happy, and so on and so forth. And if you're interested in learning some of the names of Disney characters in French, I do have a whole video dedicated to that, which is quite a fun one, so I'll leave the link down below. Check it out if you haven't already. But for this next secret, which is still in this shop, you might be able to see some keys over there by this lovely cuckoo clock, because if you pay close attention to those keys up there, one of them, and hopefully you'll be able to see it, one of them has the D from the Disney logo at the top of it, and it's just that one over there. Very, very nice touch. We are in front of the Carousel of Lancelot for this next secret, and this is actually another fun one that not a lot of people pay attention to. And basically the secret is that all the 70 horses that are installed on the carousel are basically in order of the colors of the rainbow, so red, orange, yellow, blue, or the green, sorry, green, blue, and so on and so forth. Quite cool. For this next secret, we are heading into Au Chalet de la Marionnette, which is probably one of my least favorite quick service places in Disneyland Paris, but also has one of my favorite secrets, ironically. And this secret can be found at the exit or entrance, depending on what you're doing, of the restaurant over here. So you can see a sign over there that says Sortie, and right next to Sortie you've got Figaro giving a thumbs up. He looks very, very pleased with himself. Now this is one of those really fun secrets that not a lot of people know about, and basically it's an international secret because the Imagineers who built the same restaurant in Disneyland, California years and years ago, they made a mistake with their exit sign. They basically made a mistake in the layout of the output panel, and hopefully you can see the photo here. It just wasn't fully centered, so to correct their mistake, they painted Figaro pretending to pull the panel towards the center, just as a little fun joke for their restaurant over in California. And then when the same restaurant opened in Disneyland Paris, obviously called Au Chalet de la Marionnette here, same as Pinocchio's house in California, the error was not reproduced, so that's why Figaro up there is happy and giving a thumbs up, because he doesn't have to pull the sign anymore. He can just chill and be happy. Okay, so this next secret is another one of my favorites, and it's actually about Peter Pan's flight, which is probably the most popular attraction in all the Disney parks worldwide. Here as well in Paris, it's currently got a 70-minute queue, and the cool thing about this attraction is not its long lines, definitely not. I wouldn't recommend queuing more than half an hour for this personally, but obviously we're in Fantasyland right now, as you can see, and that's where Peter Pan's flight is located. However, the entirety of the building for Peter Pan's flight continues and continues and continues, and it continues and continues until we get to Adventureland. Now if I walk here, I'm now officially in Adventureland, but Peter Pan's flight is still here, and the kind of backside of it actually attaches to Adventureland in Disneyland Paris, and if you kind of walk a few steps forward, you're going to see Pirates of the Caribbean. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this might be the only attraction in all Disney parks worldwide that has connections to 2 lands. Obviously the main part of it is in Fantasyland. Peter Pan's flight is considered a Fantasyland attraction, but as you saw there, it is attached to Adventureland as well, and this is something that I love about Disneyland Paris' theming, because obviously with the story of Peter Pan, we start in, we know, Wendy's bedroom and Peter goes there, and obviously most of it is more relevant to Fantasyland, but then they do meet some pirates as well, and that's why it makes sense to have it connect to Adventureland as well. And finally, for the final secret, secret number 30, we're by the castle again, the beautiful Sleeping Beauty castle here in Disneyland Paris, which you can also see from Fantasyland. And this again is probably one of my favorite secrets about Disneyland Paris just generally, because if you look at the golden turrets over there, if you look closely, and hopefully my camera will be able to show them, on them you can see some snails crawling up or down, and that's of course a reference to, you know, France and the fact that they eat snails here, escargot if you like. And with that, we've come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed the 30 secrets that I shared about Fantasyland here in Disneyland Paris. I had a good time walking around this part of the park and showing you around. Leave a comment down below and let me know which of the secrets that I shared was your favorite, or if there are any secrets that I haven't mentioned before. I'd love to hear them in the comments as well. But before I end this video, I do want to give a big shout out to all of you that I've met today. Just in the past few hours of walking around here, I've met people from Austria, from the USA, from Malta, from Germany, from the United Kingdom. I mean, so many places, I can't even mention them all. Belgium as well, for sure. I met a couple of people from Belgium, but it always means a lot to me, so thank you so much for watching the videos and supporting the channel, and also saying hi to me when you see me around. Also France too, of course. I met a lovely family by Peter Pan's flight when I was filming that section of the vlog, and we spoke in French, and they were so lovely, so I don't want to miss those people out. But yeah, that is the end of this video. If you like this video, please do give it a like so I know that you enjoyed it, so I can make more of these kinds of videos. I'm hoping to do them for all the lands. Obviously, we've done Fantasyland today. I already have a video about Main Street USA, and that one's a really fun one to check out, so if you haven't checked it out, go and watch it down below. But yeah, that is it. Follow me on Instagram, subscribe for more videos. Thank you so much for watching, and from me and the beautiful Fantasyland at Disneyland Paris, I bid you farewell. Bye bye.